earlier.
Disto. Well, we are live.
Welcome to the Geek EZ, where we're all going to push tank.
You sons of...
Push the tank. Push the tank.
Push.
You stop that. You stop
How much
it
snow
now.
did you get out there, Tank?
Which day? Because we got more coming.
Oh, because today we hit about 5 inches fall.
No, we did that Monday night. It's about 3 to 5.
It was 70 here today.
Shut your hole.
You know, you're not immune from being kicked.
I gotta say, my wife just gave me a cup of chicken bone broth. This stuff's rocking.
But yeah, we got forecast up to somewhere between 3 to 5 inches, possibly 4 to 10, somewhere in there. Tomorrow-ish evening, into Friday and Saturday, we're going to get more snow.
You know what's really funny is we always sound like we're always yelling at each other on here and we're getting mad. We're all friends, guys.
I hate you all.
Screw you.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and drop the first one of the day. Fuck all y'all.
Go ahead.
Well, no, don't do that. I don't want to see that.
Sideways with the chainsaw.
It's just disturbing.
I was going to use a hedge clipper, but okay.
Okay, well, let's see.
And on
Welcome
that note,
to Trailer Park Wednesday, which is something we don't very often have on this show, where trailers fall in our lap left and right and first looks. We got 3, 4, 5 that fell since Super Bowl Sunday, including Deadpool today. Right, we got Mission Impossible, Solo.
So we got Mission Impossible,
Avengers.
Solo, Avengers, Deadpool, Jessica Jones.
Ant-Man was last week, right?
Ant-Man was last week.
Wasn't there the Jurassic whatever?
Oh yes, Jurassic World 2. But yeah, so we're going to do the old opening and disclaimers and all that kind of stuff. We'll be right back.
Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The opinions expressed do not reflect this station or any affiliated partners. Listener discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Geek EZ.
Just talking? Well, what's the show about? It's about nothing.
We are joined today by a Badger.
Badger.
Mushroom.
You know, Alistair, while watching that thing, I kept waiting for for Black Panther to say he knows the way.
No, the way.
No mames.
No, man, that was what game was he playing?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Dear Lord, that was hilarious, though.
Oh god, that guy was so angry. Understandably so, but
yes.
Jesus.
I would have probably thrown my phone and/or controller or whatever he was playing on across the room at that point. I feel like a real talk show host with my cup here drinking. But you can't hear it.
No, and we don't need to.
No.
The thing is that I found out what that translates to. Yeah, I would be saying the exact same thing he would be. The equivalent of no way with a little extra expletive.
Yes, with a little oomph to it.
No mames! That's how we get around the
yes.
the rated R.
So I think we're gonna We'll start with Solo and Star Wars in general as we go into this show, because
So I'm not sure we need a Solo film. But obviously, we got it.
I said this on Facebook. I have, in no way, shape, or form, wanted this movie. I did not care about this movie. I was going to see it because it was a Star Wars film and we need to see it for the show. I really couldn't give one of the things that is in my field, which is barren. I've already said it one time already. Then that trailer dropped and I'm like, okay.
I do believe your words were "Garamit."
Goramit? Well, actually it was goddamn it, but I couldn't put that on Facebook. I could have, but people would have complained. But yeah,
I think the brown coat term was better.
I'm like, all right, I've got some hype. Let me actually look into this, and the fact that it's supposedly, basically, they're intending it for a lot of exposition going on here. They're intending it for being basically the Star Wars version of Ocean's 11. Kind of intrigues me. Han is a lot younger than I thought he'd be as well. This is like real early in Han's life. I'm guessing even though I think Alden Ehrenreich, I don't know how to say his last name, he's in his 30s, he's playing a much younger Han. Also, guys, just so y'all know, that central section of the Millennium Falcon is established in the old Legends canon.
It comes off.
It comes off, and YT-1300s did carry them.
Yes. Think of it as like a Millennium Falcon condom. It comes off.
That was
I
just
have
creepy.
no clue what you were talking about there.
It's wedged for your pleasure.
Pleasure?
I can't speak!
Oh, dear Lord. Ah. But, hold on. Got some screenshots here. Because we can't show trailers, but... This shot, if you guys are watching the stream, he actually kind of looks like Harrison Ford in this picture.
So does Adam Driver, actually.
Yes. Adam
Also,
Driver actually could be his kid.
You should put that up on the stream, too, by the way.
Oh, okay. But the Falcon. The Falcon's the big one that got me. It's like, seriously, what were Han and Chewie doing on the Millennium Falcon for the 20 years he had it that trashed that ship?
They were Han and Chewie.
This is so Lando Calrissian ship. You can tell. It's like pristine, it's clean, and
I don't even know if it's Lando's at this point.
Yeah, they say in some of the articles that it is. Because that droid that we see is his co-pilot.
I mean, it should be.
It's Donald Glover, right?
Yes, Donald Glover.
Donald Glover is going to be the breakout in this movie.
By the way, can we talk about how utterly pimp he is?
Dude, that yellow shirt rocks! I saw the toy and I was like, that is so awesome. I mean, and then that shot of him in the poster, all I could think of was the old books from the 80s. The old Lando books. I'm kind of upset that they did not include his robot from the EU.
Well,
Also, that Star Destroyer through that nebula.
he does have a droid co-pilot in the movie.
That's not his. That's Heroes.
The article I was reading says that that's his pilot.
Oh, okay. I read somewhere else that it was her droid. Either way, it don't matter. But he still has a droid co-pilot, but it's not Vatra.
No, it's like L3 something or other.
Yes, L337. But the Falcon is so pristine and clean, and there are other shots that I don't have that were in Entertainment Weekly that show even more of it, where Han, Chewie, and Woody Harrelson's character are sitting at the oh gosh, what's the name of the game now? I had it right there and I lost it. Some Star Wars fan I am.
Sabek or Dejarik?
Dejarik, thank you, the Dejarik table.
It's like there's three games, there's three possibilities.
Everything is white.
It's got this nice, shiny, and new.
Now, it's been deleted since then. There was an article that I do believe it was Screen Rant posted that the Falcon's look in this film it creates a plot hole because of stuff we've seen in episode 3. And Pablo Higaldo piped up on Twitter and said, no, it doesn't.
And then Pablo tells you you're wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong.
wrong.
That's just probably why they deleted it.
May not
So-
be because Lucas did say, yeah, that was the Falcon.
Yes.
Oh.
Now the possibility is that the ship that we keep seeing isn't the Falcon, and that we're being led to believe.
Or again, because they are taking a lot from Legends at this point. CEC's ships are incredibly modular. Could it be like someone bought it and slapped that on there?
Could be.
Well, it is,
I mean,
it's 20 years. I mean,
yeah.
they could have put a module on there, yeah.
But I'm
Actually,
hyped. I'm pretty
I
hyped
feel
for
like
it.
this is less 20 years and more like closer to 10, maybe.
Well, I say
Maybe
20.
15?
That was there's 20 years in between from the Revenge of the Sith to A New Hope. So there's a lot of things that could happen in 20 years.
Yeah, I mean,
it
I've had
also-
cars that
it
rusted
could-
out faster than that.
It could still be the same ship, but have just gotten, a once-over, because if it's Lando's ship, look at Lando. Do you think he's not going to ride around in something pristine? If it's got that nice, shiny white paint job on it, and it is a nice, brand-new-looking paint job,
Oh yeah.
considering that the one we saw in Revenge of the Sith had blue on it, I mean, it makes sense that if he's going to repaint the ship, he's probably going to have the interior done too.
And
It's
he was
been-
also owning a ship sales lot originally, so maybe that's still in the story.
From what I'm gathering, there's a lot of the EU thrown in. So
There are, of course, people who are throwing up the fact that they think Paul
Bettany.
Bettany's character is actually Quinlan Voss. To which I point, because he's playing a character whose last name is Voss. To which I point out, I'm not related to every person who has the same last name as me.
true. But
Yeah, that
I
would
mean,
be stupid because
Now we
Quinlan
do know,
Voss is a completely different looking character, even if they were
Yes.
related.
yeah.
yes, because Voss was a great person when it came to being a master of disguise and everything like that. But
True.
this would be significant plastic surgery.
Let's see.
But
Yeah.
significant to the point that they'd have to bleach him.
Let's see. In this case, it's probably just it's code
Well,
phrase. He's Voss. He's
I'm
actually the
going to
fish.
point out in one of the new novels that is considered canon, didn't Voss die before this movie would take place?
No,
No, he is still alive.
he is still alive.
That's canon.
I thought
Someone else died in that book,
Oh, okay. I mixed up who died. That's
Yep.
right.
which totally ticked me off.
Yes, because here's the thing. I despised her when she first came out.
Yes.
I did. I absolutely hated her as a character, and I hated her even more at the start of Clone Wars. But as Season 2 through the end happened, I fell in love with Ventress as a character.
Didn't they hook up
Yep.
in the EU as well?
There
Ventress
is
and Voss?
a book.
No,
I believe they did hook
No.
up in the EU.
no, they didn't.
Hold on. In Dark Disciple, the book, which is considered canon,
They hooked up.
they hooked up.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I'm talking about the EU, the stuff that's not canon.
The Legends.
Legends. I'm pretty sure they hooked up in.
No, they
there.
didn't.
What book would they have hooked up? Because I don't remember too many of the books that went back in time like that.
I can assure
Gotta
you.
go
no, they did
back
not.
in time.
Yeah,
They
the only
did
one
work
that
together.
did. Yeah, they worked together in Dark Disciple. Now, actually, to be fair, I haven't finished it, so I don't know if they
You keep
hooked
pulling
up.
up current,
oh, dude,
man.
did we
That's
just
not current.
spoil it for you?
No, it's
I
fine.
don't care. I'm probably never going to
Okay.
finish it.
Dark Disciple is current canon. We're talking
Yes.
EU/Legends. They
Oh,
worked
my
together
bad.
in there, and that was in the comics. And they never actually, quote unquote, hooked up.
Because they always portrayed
Gotcha.
Ventress as a character that was not, that side of her was never touched on.
If anything, she was more, vengeful.
She was
to
very
try to kill-
asexual too.
more or less, and she really wanted to kill Anakin. In the
Yeah.
cartoon, Clone Wars, she was more, I guess, flirty with Obi-Wan, but probably because it would throw off his game. But she still
but
wanted to kill Anakin.
Dark Disciple was one of the newer canon novels that was a well written book. One of those that was it, and that it was heart wrenching at points where it was like, oh, come on. But it was like, come on, because this was a character. I mean, they took established characters, even though we had never really seen Voss anywhere on screen. I think
True.
he was Was he in one episode or mentioned at least?
I think no, he was actually in one or two episodes of Clone Wars,
but never fleshed out the way he was fleshed out in that book.
No, I mean they didn't have that much
Yeah.
time to flesh out, but yeah, he was popular enough that he actually made an appearance in the series and actually got speaking parts. Whereas, what's her name, the Twi'lek, Ella Sakura, she didn't even get any speaking parts.
No,
but she made it in the film, so go figure.
Yeah, unlike say the Aftermath books and some of the newer comics, all of the novels have been pretty on point. But I mean, the Aftermath books were a mess.
No, no question.
They were difficult to read. They were all over the place. It was just why. I mean, and everybody's clamoring for these books. Oh, and it doesn't explain anything that happened between the two series.
It really doesn't.
And it's just like, okay, and then you go read. I can never remember the author's name. Her two Leia books, and you can hear the freaking music playing. That's how good she does it.
Good.
And it was like, oh yeah, and it's like, I mean, if you take a character that everybody knows so well and you then just expand on her, and it was just like, it made Leia so much more three-dimensional outside of Carrie.
Bloodlines, by the way.
Hmm?
Princess Leia and Bloodlines.
Yes, and yeah, Bloodlines. Was it just Princess Leia?
Yes.
That was, yeah. Her two books were incredible. I mean, I actually complimented her on Twitter, and I got a thank you out of her because I was like, your books were awesome to read, and thank you very much. But I mean, some of the comics that are out there, even though they are considered canon, have gone so far off the deep end.
Which ones?
The Star Wars themselves, like the whole that queen that was hunting Luke.
No, that one was a little weird. But I'm treating that. I'm kind of treating that as filler.
Kind of like the Afro books are touch and go.
I've enjoyed the Afro books.
Then there was the DJ book that just came out. Again, any character. Yeah, it's like, wow, what do you do with a character that no one cares about? Let's write a one-shot for him. He was such a waste of a character. But back to Solo, and back to Star Wars in general. Solo trailer has made me hyped for it. I'm like, okay. Is he exactly Harrison Ford? No. Does he have her? I mean, his voice is nowhere deep enough. His face is a little more, I don't know, it's not like you could morph him into Harrison Ford and it's going to be a perfect match.
It's not angular. It's not as angular.
He does have Harrison's mumble of approval, though.
Yes, he does, according to Kathleen Kennedy. But then, on the turn of, okay, we've got another prequel story. We've now had 3 prequel movies to the Skywalker saga. We've had 1 prequel movie to the Star Wars legacy. Now we've got another prequel story of a Star Wars character. Why do they keep going backwards?
Because there's a lot before.
Yeah.
Just like there's a lot after.
But
Probably because people have a much better reaction to, that time period versus going forward. Going forward is scary.
Also,
yes.
Yeah, well, basically it's like they can keep going back because there's a lot of stuff that they can do without disrupting. Whereas if they go forward, they're basically setting stuff in stone.
True.
Which is why both of these two new sagas that we're getting, the 2 new trilogies, the 6 films, Rian Johnson and the Game of Thrones guys, they're either going to take place before or adjacent to current established Star Wars.
Yes. Well, that's the other side of the Star Wars news, and we've not only got 2 full movie series announced now, the Game of Thrones guys and Rian Johnson's. But they've also, I guess, Iger... Now, I want to know why Iger's saying all this and Kennedy's not. But he's like, we've got a bunch of series in development. I was like, okay, we have officially entered oversaturation danger points.
Which I don't think.
You don't think so?
No, I mean, it's not like... We're getting 1 Star Wars film a year. As opposed to superhero movies and comic book movies, which we're getting 3 to 5 or more a year. That would be oversaturation.
But you know what?
Once per year is not bad.
If we were getting an Iron Man movie every year, it would be different. But we're not. We're getting other characters and things like that where they come back and... it's like there was how many years between Thor films? How many years between Ant-Man films?
Technically, if you think about it, all the Avengers films are Iron Man films.
True.
I think we are approaching oversaturation simply because of Disney's expectations. They expect every movie that they put out to be, Rogue One, this unexpected, or not unexpected, but this bigger hit than they're expecting. And I think that instead, if they're going to have this many movies, focus on different aspects of Star Wars, lower your expectations for the side movies. Don't expect the casual fans to necessarily to go see all the side movies religiously.
I think this will have more of a casual fan draw than Rogue One did, though. I think Solo is going to bring more people into the seats than Rogue One did, just because it's Han Solo. The casual fan knows who Han Solo is.
Well, I'm not talking about Solo. I'm talking about this other stuff that they're planning down the road.
Well, see, I think the other stuff, too, will also bring in more people, because if they're going to do stuff outside the established norm for Star Wars, then a lot of people who don't know much about Star Wars are going to be able to get into the franchise. It's the same reason that Star Trek 2009 was such a success, because it was something outside the norm for Star Trek. So non-Star Trek fans were able to get into it, become Star Trek fans.
Yes.
We still need a spaghetti western style Boba Fett movie.
Moving along.
What? I think
move along.
What, kind of like? No, I want to touch on this. Kind of like the old Clint Eastwood ones.
Nope,
exactly, like the old Man with No Name trilogy.
Why not?
Yep.
Tank, why are you so opposed to a Boba Fett film?
Because no one cares. Boba Fett. In all honesty, Boba Fett as a character, he's just a mercenary. He's literally just out for money. There's nothing there. There's literally
Have you watched the old Clint Eastwood westerns, the first three, the Man with No Name trilogy? It's not about the character; it's about the situations.
True, and there's no way that you could. But in the Clint Eastwood films, he was a bad guy that did good. You can't do that with Boba Fett.
Yeah,
of course you can.
No, you can't. He's a mercenary. They have literally made sure that the things he does it to maintain his reputation, or for money, or both, and preferably both.
I would, and to actually do that to where you take a character that you're supposed to not like and all of a sudden root for him.
Keep in mind how they established him as an individual in Clone Wars as well.
True.
And the one Man with No Name movie, all the good that's done is a pure side effect of the fact that he wants to rip off the two warring families.
True.
He literally, other than maybe the bartender and the gravedigger, he doesn't care about the people in that village. He just wants to screw those two families over.
Now, who's more useless, Boba Fett or Captain Phasma?
Who's more what?
Useless. When you actually think about the screen time compared to what they did compared to the hype around the characters.
Comparatively, I would probably say, at least in regards to the films, and only the films in which they are presented, I would say Boba Fett.
Because he got beaten by a blind man.
Well, no, because he was. We can say that Phasma was underused, and she was, but the way she was presented and her effect on Finn is significantly greater than how Boba Fett was presented and his effect on Han.
True. And I'm still not convinced that Boba Fett doesn't appear in this film somewhere. In the Solo film.
He probably will, because they have an established history.
Yeah, the whole spaghetti western thing, honestly, no. Just no.
I don't know, the aspect of Rebels ending, and we got the Solo film, now I don't mind. I think it's awesome.
Can I tell you what I would like? Not a Boba Fett-centric film, but a film that doesn't have Boba Fett in it.
Bounty Hunters.
I would like a Expendables-style film where Boba Fett and several of those bounty hunters from Clone Wars.
I could get behind that.
I could get behind that one.
And you want to be behind that because they got guns and you don't want to be in front of that.
And quite frankly, a lot of the bounty hunters presented in Clone Wars, including Boba Fett, are, these hard-ass people with hearts of gold. Because Boba Fett, at least in the early days, he tried to do good. He just became a hard ass later on.
Okay. Just because it's part of the conversation right now on social media, is both on Facebook and on Twitter, revolving around all of the Star Wars news and the people being brought in to create new stuff for Star Wars, there's been a fairly vocal cry on Twitter, especially, about the fact that everybody creating Star Wars are guys, specifically white guys.
Which isn't really true, it's just the films.
Yeah, and the aspect of that the only answer I could have to that is, well, maybe you need to ask the woman who runs Lucasfilm. That's the only thing I could say. It's like, this is a woman hiring these guys. You can't get mad because she's hiring guys to write and create these stories, and they haven't named anybody who's going to direct anything. They're just asking people to write.
I was going to say, if they're providing what they're looking for, and she's giving it the green light, I'd say it's good to go, guys. Let it go.
Now, would I love to see a Star Wars movie done by, what's his name? The guy who did Thor, Ragnarok. I can never pronounce his name right either.
While you're thinking about that, Firefly makes a good point. It'd be silly to pick writers solely on the basis of gender. And he actually is 100% correct in that. You don't, if you truly want to, treat everybody equal, then they have to show that they produce, a quality product, and the one that makes the better product should be chosen to do so.
His name, I guess, is Taika Waititi, is the guy who directed Thor. I would love to see him direct a Star Wars movie, because he's got a tongue-in-cheek sense of humor, where he doesn't take his movies. His movies don't take themselves very seriously. Or at least Thor didn't. I haven't seen too many. What else did he do? He did another one.
Oh, he did a comedy, vampire comedy that's really funny.
No, man, I just suddenly imagine if he did a Star Wars version, the music would be 70s disco Star Wars theme.
Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars.
Can we get
Thank you, Bill Murray.
Can we get like a cyberpunk style Star Wars film that takes place on Coruscant and is entirely synthwave?
Oh, you mean like that canceled game? What is it, level 1033 or whatever?
13. No. 1313 something else completely different. But I mean, something that just feels like pure synthwave, very retro.
So, Blade Runner?
Synthesizer music.
Yes, Blade Runner in the Star Wars universe. There we go.
I think we had that. It was called Blade Runner.
But it doesn't take place in the Star Wars universe.
And at Harrison Ford, he was totally Han Solo. No, he wasn't, I know.
Speaking of Blade Runner, that second one was... It was. I rented it. I was all hyped up for it, and 2 hours later, I sat there and I was staring at my screen, and I didn't realize the movie had ended.
Some people really liked it.
Oh, I'm not. You know what? It is a gorgeous film. It is beautifully shot. It is. I mean, literally almost every frame is like a piece of art. But the story itself, it's even more vague than the first one.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, it beats you over the head with some stuff, but it's more vague in other spots. I mean, again, you have to see it yourself to make your own opinion on it. I wouldn't say it's boring. It was just not. I don't know. It was more art house than Logan. It was prettier than Logan. Much prettier than Logan. And there was a bunch of sleeping in this one too. One of these days I'll actually sit down and I'll count up all the minutes that Logan was sleeping or driving in that film. Where nothing really happened.
Sleep, human.
But, so you guys don't think we're oversaturated, coming to oversaturation?
I don't feel like
On
it.
Star Wars? No.
Now, I do believe
I
that
think
we
it
are.
depends on how they treat it.
I do think we're coming to the point where there's going to be they better start thinking something other for the MCU because they're reaching that point as well. And they're saying that after Infinity War, that this phase, where the MCU has gone, it's over. After that, everything will change completely.
Well, because they don't really have a plan. They flat out said that they really don't have any plans for any more phases.
But they're going to have to start going cosmic with it, I think. Start bringing in some of the characters that have more of a sci-fi feel.
I still want a Cosmo the Space Dog movie.
I mean, I'm sure we'll get a Guardians 3. And if they don't bring the other characters from the original Guardians characters in, Sly Stallone and all those guys, I'll be very upset.
I want a Nova movie. I would dude, we need an Expendables movie about that heist they were doing after Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yes.
You just want Expendables movies.
I like Expendables movies, okay?
Brainless, testosterone-fueled popcorn movies.
With just enough plot to move it along.
Apparently, Firefly's making a point about, in regards to saturation, he said the concern about saturation is part of why Ubisoft decided to space out the Assassin's Creed titles, so they didn't, overwhelm. I think they backed off more for a different reason than saturation.
Well, DC, as long as DC can kind of, from what I'm gathering, they're just having issues with Zack Snyder stuff. Because the other directors and the other films that they're producing, people are saying good things about. Like Aquaman. The rumblings that I have heard are saying that Aquaman's actually a really good movie.
Well, Jason Momoa is a good actor.
Yeah, but I'm of the opinion now, after seeing Justice League and seeing Wonder Woman and Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman and Suicide Squad. And Suicide Squad is its own little beast. I don't know how to actually put that. It's comic book characters, but...
There's a big problem with Aquaman, though.
And that would be?
Well, with the way they portrayed him in the movie, the whole having to create a bubble to talk underwater thing.
Because you realize how voices work. They bounce off of sound, air particles.
Yes, I understand that, but you're talking about a man who is one of the most powerful telepaths on the planet.
They addressed that in the film, from what I gather.
Yep.
See, I am one to believe that she actually created the bubble because it was only around her and Aquaman, and she created the bubble as a privacy thing because there were other characters or other Atlanteans in the room.
I hope so, because otherwise the bubble thing, while more scientifically accurate, is really stupid.
No, they do talk underwater. Whether it's telepathically or whatever, they don't actually explain it in the books whether it's telepathic that I know of, but they do talk underwater.
Well, I know one of the interesting aspects of the books is, and Mira does this more than he does, the whole controlling water thing.
Yes.
Lets her control like people's blood and stuff.
Yeah, she has
bloodbender.
Amazing water control. Yeah, she is a waterbender.
I said bloodbender.
Oh, bloodbender. But
that's a form of waterbending, though.
Yes,
we got
but it's a very
Shazam
dark
coming
connotation.
out. I still don't know about the casting on that one, but all right. I got to see him in costume. He just doesn't have that square jaw that I always associated with Captain Marvel or Shazam. You all got real quiet on me. Oh no, Zachary Levi. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
I just don't see him having the physical presence for the.
Oh yeah, they said he's gotten pretty big.
Firefly caught on to what I was referencing, by the way.
Zachary Levi is playing playing Shazam or Captain Marvel.
Really?
Yes. So
Firefly picked up what I put down because he said that is why Mira Katara is such a scary concept. Yes, Katara going truly evil, a la the Mirror Universe, and going full bore bloodbender. Oh yeah, that would be terrifying.
yes, it would be.
Because she did do that. She did it once for an episode in Last Airbender series.
That was a good episode.
It was a good episode. She regretted it.
I got some shots from the Avengers trailer as well. Did y'all see that one?
I did.
No.
You didn't watch the Super Bowl at all?
I did.
No.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's nothing new that we haven't seen.
my
I mean, it's just screenshots. And it's kind of cool to see everybody on screen together. I still don't understand where all these 75 characters are coming from.
Clearly, majority of them are the nanobots that make up Iron Man's suit.
I guess, because I counted the on-screen that we know of, and I think it only came up with 28 people. That's including all of Black Panther's entourage, all the Avengers, the Guardians, and Thanos.
Are you including Pepper Potts?
Yes, because she was in the list. People, they had a big thing of all the people that were in the trailer.
See, who else could be in
or
it?
at least talked about. It was like, oh yes, Pepper. I mean, it's like, where are you getting the 75 characters?
Oh man, have you seen the meme that's going around? Just following this, the trailer where they show, Captain America and Black Widow and Vision.
Maybe we're finally getting the return of Abomination and the Leader.
You didn't answer my question.
No, I didn't see the meme.
Okay, so someone had taken a picture from, I think it was like one of the earlier Avengers films, and it showed Captain America, Clint, and Black Widow with the red hair and everything. As they were heading towards one of the Quinjets, and then they had the follow-up image that, like what you got in your spread here.
Yeah.
And someone said, "Wow, they did a lot of changes to Clint."
What?
because the first picture was in the same order: Captain America,
yes.
Clint, Hawkeye, and Black Widow. Except in this case, Vision was in his place, and so someone just being a smartass was like, "Wow, they really changed Clint a lot."
So I did see the meme where the Defenders. It showed the Defenders saying, "Hey, somebody's attacking New York. We need to get on in this." And then they showed like Thanos and the spaceship, and he's like, "No, we're good."
Actually,
we'll hang back.
I just looked into that. Of all of the Defenders characters that we know of, and those shows, the only we just had Punisher, and
Yes.
Jessica Jones is coming out March, which is before Avengers.
Yes.
We haven't seen anything else from the other series yet, so since Jessica Jones is going to take place before Infinity Wars, there's a possibility that we may still see the Defenders in Infinity War.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, they have to, if they're going to sit there, they've got this cast of characters already. And to fill this out, when you're showing a full-on alien attack on New York City, as well as in outer space, which is where I guess Thor and those guys are going to be, and then Wakanda, it's like, you can't have established characters that you're trying to convince everybody is all under one roof, even though it's not. I mean, even the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and we won't even talk about the Inhumans right now, but because they're in Hawaii. But
maybe the new Warriors will appear.
It's like, even if they're just on the ground and they don't have like just the inclusion of them would probably, the not only is it fan service and be like, hey, here you go, we're giving you a reach around just a little bit, but it would expand it to the point where, yes, they do all live in the same universe. Everyone is all here.
Did you count the 11 from Black Panther?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe
11?
that's
No, it's not all. It's not 11. I thought there was only 9. Or they're not all in it though.
And I just counted the cast from Black Panther.
But I don't think all of the cast from Black Panther is in Infinity War.
Maybe that's how they'll end Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They'll pop back to Earth and be like, we're back, and then just Thanos will step on them.
We gotta
Squish.
wait 4 weeks before we get the next episode
Yeah.
anyway.
But either way, I mean, it would be really cool. Even, you know what would be even better is all this talk about, oh, you know, it'd be really cool to see Wolverine and all that, and then all of a sudden Jackman shows up in it. Would be, that's just me really hoping.
Oh, did you notice, by the way, since we're on the subject, with the Deadpool trailer at the very beginning, there was the full-blown Marvel thing?
I did not notice that.
Yeah, there was the 20th Century Fox, which we had, but then there was the full-blown Marvel Cinematic Universe intro.
It was just not, really?
Yeah, I mean, not the full length that you would see at the film, but yeah. Because normally we just see, you know, a quick flash of Marvel or with the assistance of Marvel Studios or something like that, or we don't see anything at all. But it was the Marvel Cinematic Universe thing.
I'm looking. Give me a second.
It
had the it was, but it wasn't. It was still it had that flashy thing with all the Marvel comics behind it, but it was,
which we don't normally see, or we didn't
no,
see.
we don't.
With
no,
the,
usually it's
with
just
the
it's just
yeah.
Yeah,
This is a much
just
more
a flash of Marvel.
Yeah. So yeah, the Disney already making them changes.
Well, that's still up in the air with Comcast, supposedly. Which, you know what, Comcast, you got some giant cojones going up against the mouse at that. I mean, they own Hollywood at this point, so
They own everything.
I don't
that's
see it
interesting. Hugo Weaving technically is under a multi-film contract with Marvel, even though they haven't asked him back yet.
That we know of.
From what I understand, Hugo Weaving does not want to come back.
Oh no,
But
he said he'd come back.
He doesn't
did he?
want to come back, but he said he'd honor his contract if asked.
No, I think later on he backtracked a little bit. Where he actually complimented on the way that they developed their characters and stuff, and said he wouldn't mind at all coming back. I mean, it's not that they couldn't get somebody else to play the Red Skull, but he did such a bang-up job with it. That's why I love that movie. So it's like my favorite Marvel film of all time. Everybody just embodied their role so well. Which is going to be sad to see Chris Evans killed in this film, but...
Spoiler!
Don't say that.
You know what's going to happen.
Well, who's going to take a spot?
Bucky?
Or
Falcon.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
but Bucky's actor is more popular.
Can I also?
I don't know,
point out-
dude. Falcon... Yes, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Can I also point out that Natasha appears to have raided Bobby's outfit drawer?
Yeah. Right down to her hair bleach.
Well, I got the
see
prelude comic for that, and it makes some sense. I
Could
wondered
we
why she changed it, and it's like, oh, okay, she's changed it because she's basically going undercover along with Cap.
Could we see the Inhuman royal family?
The ones that were introduced in the TV show?
Yeah.
No,
Probably
those
not.
are owned by Fox, weren't they?
No.
No, they weren't. No, they weren't.
There was a little comic I saw a couple weeks ago that made me laugh. It was basically Thanos had defeated everybody except for I can't remember. No, I can't remember his name at the moment. He's the king guy.
Black Bolt.
Odin?
Black Bolt.
Black Bolt is like, it basically, comments that he's the only guy left. Does he have anything to say? So Black Bolt just opens his mouth and disintegrates Thanos' face.
Have they ever met in the comic books?
Yes.
I don't know.
Because Black Bolt probably would be a good opponent for Thanos.
I don't know if they've met either.
Problem is that battle would probably obliterate any planet they were on. I mean, if Black Bolt utters a word, he destroys everything.
As a side note, Inhumans only lasted 8 episodes.
Yeah, and it got canceled. But
I don't see anything saying it was canceled.
I'm pretty sure it was canceled.
Maybe I just missed it.
Now, sticking on the Marvel thing, you got the Jessica Jones trailer today, which I watched, and I will say that I was not a giant fan of the first season, and I think it was more of the fact that the only 2 emotions she ever showed were furrowed brow and more furrowed brow, and I was like, okay, it's like, yeah, I mean, you've got 2 facial expressions throughout 13 episodes. Squinty and more squinty, and the trailer was just more of the same. I was like, oh, okay, bitchy woman, angry at the world, trying to find out who she is, squints all the time.
I've never been the biggest fan of that actress, and most of her projects never get picked up beyond the first season.
Not to say anything. I mean, it was good, well written. It was probably one of the better written of the series. At least she didn't have to go to Kung Lung. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt on that one. It was just, I don't know. There is only so much facial mugging I can take. That's why I don't like Renee Zellweger movies. Squishy face.
Okay, so what I saw is that in regards to Inhumans, they stated in January that the series didn't perform for us at the level that we would have wanted, and that the viewership numbers were less exciting for us than we hoped they would be.
Because it was a hack job. Dude, it was
not from a lack of money, though.
I don't know where that money went, because it wasn't on screen. I watched the first 3 episodes, and I couldn't take it anymore.
I think it was wrapped up in Lockjaw.
Oh, yeah, well, everything else. There is an opening sequence where they first show the base on the moon, and the fact that they showed that in theaters, let alone on an IMAX screen, is disturbing. It is as bad as the opening shot of Superman's face in Justice League. It was like right out of Doom, and I don't mean like the remake of Doom. I mean like the original video game. It's bad. No. The AI that redid Henry Cavill's mustache removal cracked me up.
Oh, that link I shared.
Yeah, and it actually did a much better job. Some dude with a $500 computer.
Yeah, he wrote an AI thing to remove the mustache.
I wish I had screenshots of it because it did a really, really good job. I really hope that for the Justice League Blu-ray they fixed it. I doubt it, but
for the Blu-ray they should just let him have the mustache in some scenes. Just confuse people. He's got the mustache here, no mustache here, mustache here, no mustache here.
I mean, I was grateful to read that there were multiple houses working on the facial hair removal, and that whoever did that opening sequence was not the guys that did it later in the film, because there are times where you really can't tell, and you're like, oh, that must have been one of the shots. Oh no, anything that was in there of Henry Cavill after, I'm trying to think, what'd they say? It's like, nope, that was us, and the guy said he saw the film and he was like, how did they let that get up there? So whatever house did the initial, the little video that the kid was taking at the beginning of the movie, woof. God, that was so bad.
And Wolfie has proven that yes, they had Black Bolt and Thanos has met, and it ended poorly for Black Bolt.
Really?
Yep, I was just looking at the same thing. Basically Black Bolt sent Thanos flying a few times, and then Thanos grabbed him. Black Bolt unleashed the scream straight to his face. Thanos grabbed him, covered his mouth, and slammed him into the
actually,
ground.
that last panel where he's slamming him into the ground looks a lot like the Thanos we see in the trailer.
He sure enough does. Looks an awful like a Darkseid too. Oh, I said it.
You keep saying it though.
But it's true. Darkseid came first.
Darkseid did it better. Frieza did it first.
Darkseid would have been the better bad guy for Justice League. Because if you really needed Superman to show up at the end, it would have been Darkseid, not Steppenwolf.
Yeah, but you don't want to do what they did with Green Lantern and you bring out the uber bad.
Big baddie, yeah, that's true.
You got to build up to it.
Yeah, and you know what? Unfortunately, that got muddled in the movie. Because it really was Steppenwolf trying to get back into Darkseid's good graces. And that got so muddied up with the why is he doing this kind of thing. And it was only mentioned once, and if you sneezed, you missed the references to it. It was like, okay. Yeah, he was trying to get back. He was outcast. He was outcast from Apocalypse, and he wanted to get back in Darkseid's good graces. And even better would have been him shooting up through that boom tube, and an end scene, instead of the Flash Superman run, would have been him sitting there. You didn't even have to show Darkseid completely. You just would have to show the backside of Darkseid, and like his back, or like just like an over the shoulder kind of thing, and Steppenwolf there on his knees being held down by the parademons, and just get hit with two of the Omega beams, and that would be awesome. It would be like done.
You mean they want a shot of the dark side of Darkseid?
The dark side of Darkseid, yes.
I'll be here all night, ladies and gentlemen.
Not if we boot you first.
See, why is it I can come up with better endings for these movies than the guys that write these movies?
Because probably somebody higher up said, "Oh, you need to change this."
Oh, I did it with Predators, and I did it with this one.
Because I bet you that the writers and whatnot actually do come up with good stuff, but they still have to answer to studio heads who say, "Well, I don't like this. We should change it to something else. We should leave it open for a sequel or whatever." I mean, that's just a guess.
Yeah, well, they left it open with the creation of the Legion of Doom.
Meanwhile,
yeah, but we got Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Shazam, Infinity War, Ant-Man, Black Panther, Black Widow. Oh, I mean Red Sparrow.
Red Sparrow. You mean Robin?
No, Red Sparrow, the movie that's coming out with what's her
Jennifer
name?
Lawrence.
It's basically a Black Widow movie without Black Widow.
Well, then why would I want to watch it?
Because it's Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, and I forgot the X-Men movies that are coming out. We're supposed to get Venom. I forgot Venom was coming out in October. We get a trailer for that tomorrow. Then we have the Phoenix Rising, or whatever it is, the X-Men movie.
Meh.
We had that once. It didn't end well.
Yeah, I don't understand the reasoning behind the new X-Men films. Well, it's all tied together, but it's not. What?
Well, we erased some of that.
Erased all of it at this point. X-Men 2, the best X-Men film out there, is going to get completely erased by this film. If you show Jean Grey manifesting the Phoenix this early on in her life, then X-Men 2 gets negated. So it's like, why would you do that?
Because they hate themselves.
I guess.
Also, they have to keep producing something or they lose the rights.
I will say the Deadpool trailer actually made me laugh. It's not like you're removing a mustache. Fine, I'll do it myself.
Which apparently somebody with a old computer did it for like $500 better than...
Yes. Where were you? We just talked about that.
What, about the mustache removal?
Yeah.
I was right here.
I don't know. Where'd you go?
But didn't the actual comparison show that it was much better from the actual studio?
No. He just showed that he could do it with a $500 computer, and he erased Cavill's mustache and a couple of different things that he was in interviews and stuff.
Oh, I really want to bitch about what Tank shared.
But you can't.
Why do you want to bitch about it?
Why would they need to make those two ships before they make yours?
Because.
Because they have a list to get through?
Yes.
This was probably there on that list first.
Well, just think about it now. They are making non-canon ships. Neither one of those ships is canon.
Your ship is closer to canon than either one of these ships.
But this is I'm pretty sure this is the lead-ins.
Well, one's Phase 2, and the other one's the Probert version of the
Yes,
Enterprise C.
neither one of them are canon ships at all.
Though the Phase 2 Buster Collectors just makes me think of the Archon in
Isn't it
Line.
Broussard Collectors?
Whatever.
Also, actually, the alternative Enterprise C does have some basis in canon because the Enterprise C we see on the wall of the D's observation lounge since the first season is different than the one we see on screen in yesterday's Enterprise.
I always liked that version of the C better.
But the one that they did show, or
No, Proberts.
Oh man, what we got, the Ambassador class is one of my favorite Star Trek ships of all time.
you got so much phlegm, man.
Yeah, I realized that.
Flemmy Wolfie.
You got so much phlegm that you were starting to sound like you were disconnecting.
I love the sea. I absolutely adore it.
He wants to see.
He's got the flu.
Too bad the ship in STO kind of sucks.
Yeah.
To borrow a joke from Q in Stowe, what do you call a Cardassian who's in charge of a sailing ship?
Do not say it because it's a bad joke in STO. And I am hovering over the kick button.
Just to give you that little extra incentive.
Type it, because I don't know what the answer is.
A seagull.
God damn it, Badger.
And the Badger has been kicked in the room.
I took care of it.
Yeah, he can't get back in here, right?
I think so.
He just did.
That was a bad joke. Well, we're only an hour into this, and I feel like I shot my wad completely. I got nothing else.
Spent.
And I'm spent.
Still waiting on my movie pass card to show up.
Time to roll over and go to sleep.
Funny thing is, they actually contacted me to say, "Hey, you should have gotten your card today. We're ready to activate your account tomorrow." I'm like, "No, don't be doing that."
How much was it?
Well, that's like 10 a month.
And you can go see a movie every day or something?
You literally need to see 2 movies in a month, and it's paid for itself.
But
Yes.
is there a limit to how many
Nope.
movies you can see in a month?
Nope.
Oh wow.
Not that I'm aware of.
See, that's an awesome side of the movie thing. But then there's here we go. Got another one coming up. Regal, which is the big theater I go to here, is contemplating, if they haven't already implemented it, charging more for bigger blockbuster films. Because they're losing money, because not as many people are going to the movies anymore. Which I'm thinking, that is
Because
the
they're
dumbest
already
idea.
charging more.
Yeah.
Well, it also has to do with bigger blockbuster films. The studios tend to demand a larger cut of the ticket sales.
I mean,
Not that I'm excusing it by any means.
I'll use my movie theater for an example. I can go out and get a decent sized meal from a fast food place for cheaper than I can get a medium drink.
You're not
Now, I
wrong.
will say that the Regal, unlike some of the other theaters, the Regal theater I go to, because I just took Tyler to go see The Last Jedi before it left theaters, and so yes, I've seen the movie 3 times now, and it gets better every time I see it. I catch a little more things here and there, and it actually is starting to really grow on me as a Star Wars film. But the he got a small, and I hand him his drink. He goes, "This is a small?" I was like, "Well, yeah, for $5, it better be a lot." I mean, because it was the size of a fast food restaurant's large, and then I got a medium, which is like a half gallon or more of soft drink, and then medium popcorn. They've enlarged all of their things. They're bigger. Everything is bigger. It used to be just like, oh, you got a small popcorn. You had a handful of popcorn in there. Now it's actually a decent sized popcorn.
Yes, but
I
it's so
mean,
ridiculously salty you can't finish it.
yeah, I mean, is it worth the $6 they charge for it? Oh, no, no way in hell. But that's where they make the most of their money, and they understand. I mean, that's an understood thing when you go to the movies. But if you're going to charge instead of the $12 or whatever it is to go see a film now, and I mean, if I want to go see Infinity War, and you bump that price to $20 a ticket, guess what? I'm not going to go do. I'm not going to your theater. So therefore, you're going to sit there and go, well, why are we losing money? Why isn't anybody coming? Because you bumped the price up another $8. Lower the price a little bit, and then everybody will go to the movies.
Except that the amount that they get back would be too low then. Which is why it's better to go with the pass option, because then you'll have money to spend on the concessions.
Until they stop taking it.
Where are Nickelodeons when you need them?
I don't think that they're not going to
Channel 141.
I mean, my buddy and I have talked about it. It'd be interesting to see what the numbers are, how much they actually get, more or less with the advent of MoviePass. In his case, he said he goes more now than he did before.
Oh, if I could go every day, I'd be like, see ya.
So, but yeah, the nice thing though in the email notifications is like they give you a link. No, I have not gotten my card yet. Click that, and it basically tells them, nope, it hasn't shown up yet. They will check with you in a couple days. So the account's still not active. Thereby, if someone ran off with the card, which I doubt they did, but say they did, they can't use it. So they're on top of things. I kind of like that.
That's until movie theaters stop taking it.
I doubt that they will stop taking it. I really, really doubt it. Consider that they've got so many movie theaters going along with it, and if you even have your own, have a membership with like some of the the chains, like Regal's got their club membership and AMC's got one, they stack together.
The problem is that the movie theater industry has not done a good job of evolving things. There's other than seeing a movie on a massive screen, there's a lot of theater chains don't do enough to bring you into the theater.
That's why places like the Alamo Drafthouse have become so popular around the country, and why they keep building more is because food, drink, alcoholic drinks, nice relaxing chairs add enough to the situation.
Yep, AMC's doing that too, and the theater that have north of me here actually got some really nice, comfortable chairs. So, yeah, they are doing things. It's just it's not cheap to make those kinds of upgrades. Although, as a side note, with MoviePass, you cannot, I say again, you cannot use it for IMAX films or 3D films, which I don't care. I'm fine with that.
Oh man, Kelsey Grammer gonna make me cry.
What did he say about his TV dad?
Well, he posted a picture of him and John, and yeah, it was John Maloney, right? Mahoney, hugging, and it says, "He was my father. I loved him."
What's weird is I swear that dude passed away a few years ago. I must be from an alternate reality.
He got better.
Got better.
Not dead yet.
It's just a flesh wound.
You'll be stone dead in a moment. Sorry.
Be stoned? Stone dead.
Whenever you start a Monty Python quote, you just kind of keep going.
You do.
But yeah, John Mahoney, it is sad that he's passed, but I guess we can't be entirely surprised.
People get older.
Yep, it happens.
It sure does. Speaking of people getting older, William Shatner says that he would love them to use CGI to make him younger again for Quentin Tarantino's Star Trek movie.
There's an awful lot of talk about that. It's like a lot of the cast from new to old cast members are like, yeah, I totally want to do that.
Reach in that bag and grab me my phaser. Which one is it? It's the brown one. I don't know. A Tarantino Star Trek movie. As long as he gets to.
Which we were kind of discussing that a little bit earlier. That some people are saying that now is the time to do the rated R Star Trek.
Star Trek and Star Wars, it's rated R does not equate good movie.
Does not equate to a better film.
No, it doesn't. I mean, is it possible to make a rated R Star Trek or a rated R Star Wars film and it'd be great? Yes. But making it rated R does not immediately make it good.
Mm-mm.
It has to be a very interesting film.
It has to be pertinent to the characters involved.
Yes.
Deadpool,
It worked for Deadpool.
Yes. And there's no way to get around Deadpool not being a rated R film because of the nature of the character and his mouth. And the fact that he shoots everything in sight.
The problem is it worked too well for Deadpool, and movie executives aren't good at seeing the difference for why something worked for one character and why it won't work for another.
Money, 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 money.
These guys are making dollar signs, and I want to make them too.
It is the. I put this on Facebook because watching a couple of newer shows on Netflix, it's serious. It's like, seriously, guys, the story ends. It's like you got the story, and just to show that we're not network and look how edgy we are, all of a sudden there's like a 15-minute long, look, everybody's naked, everybody's doing this. I'm like, you just completely slowed the show down just to I don't need to watch the entire act to get the fact across that these two are having sex. And that kind of stuff doesn't fly. I mean, it's not going to fly in a Star Wars movie. No way. I mean, yes, Star Wars movies are violent. If you want to go ultra violent with a Star Wars movie, which we've gotten, I mean, they pushed it with Last Jedi. That dude getting incinerated was probably the most graphic, violent scene we've seen in a Star Wars movie.
Based on what we've seen out of Obi-Wan, if they do make an Obi-Wan movie, it will be the most violent Star Wars movie yet.
Probably. And, violence will gain you a rated R.
It'll just be a pile of arms.
Yes.
The whole movie will be Obi-Wan just sitting there adding arms to a pile.
And it's not that
How do you think he kept that fire going on Tatooine?
But it was like, it's like, wow, man. I mean, it's not, okay, I'm not saying, oh, you're such a prude. No, because it's cheap storytelling. That's how you're keeping people watching your show. You're not giving them a story. It's like, oh, look at all the boobs.
I don't have a problem with violence or nudity when it's generic to a story, but to just shoehorn it in there doesn't make sense to me.
Which a lot of the stuff does when it's. If it's part of the story, if it really is, it's like if you were going to do a show or a movie. I don't know, like what was it? Blade Runner, the new one. They showed the replicants in their embryonic states, and when they get born, the birthing of them, and of course, this character is going to be naked. Was it gratuitous? No, it was part of the story. This is what they were showing. Then take a film. I'm trying to think. Terminator, perfect example. The movie was shot 30 years ago, or whatever it is now. They stopped the movie completely to have a 4.5-minute, albeit not graphic, love scene in the film, but it slowed that movie to a crawl. only to then half pick up the pace again instead of moving the movie forward. It's like, yeah, okay, we get it. They're having sex. We don't need to see all these angles and the pretty shots and all that. It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know if you've ever read him, but Harry Turtledove writes a lot of fantasy and alternative history stuff, and his books do a lot of that. Like, just all of a sudden, people are having sex, and it works in certain situations, but sometimes it feels like it's just
jarring,
crammed in there.
And it's like if it's part of the story, if it's not gratuitous, if it's not, it's like language for the sake of language. It's the same thing. It's like there are other ways and other. I mean, I realize that the whole study of that intelligent people swear more, which I don't know is true because I know some pretty unintelligent people that swear like sailors. But the aspect of language is not it's there are other adjectives you can use to get your point across without being vulgar. So there's that aspect of it. Now, violence, I will understand. If you're going to make a violent movie, if you're going to make a violent Star Trek movie, I'm going to ask you why. Star Trek was never about violence.
You can understand if it was about certain subject matter, focusing not on the Federation.
Have you watched Wrath of Khan?
Yeah, Wrath of Khan, to be honest, Wrath of Khan was the turning point, where Star Trek went from the turn. It was like, oh, look at this! It's now we can be violent, and even then, it was a story of revenge. But the violence wasn't anywhere near as on screen as, say, Discovery's has been. Now, Discovery is about a war, I understand. It's completely different. And it is a time period in Star Trek's history and that kind of stuff that we've never seen because, I guess, Gene wanted to move forward from that and say, yes, it did happen, but this is where mankind is now. So somebody went back and said, okay, let's show this part of that part of the story.
Well, let's go back to World War III. And then eugenics wars. Come on, let's do this.
I don't know. I mean, Tarantino, if he writes a good movie and gets the aspect of Star Trek, now he is a Star Trek fan, so.
Did you guys look at that picture I put in?
I just don't want to see like Reservoir Dogs in space.
Yes, I did see that picture. You've shown it before.
I haven't shown that one before, no.
I know I've seen it before.
I've shown you a picture of the one with the cargo configuration, but I haven't shown you that one before.
Look, all the YT-1300 configurations.
You want to know what it's from?
What?
The Millennium Falcon Owner's Manual.
Oh, look, they've got the British version. The driver's seat is on the other side.
It's it's a Haynes manual, by the way.
Yes, I have it.
That's why you've seen it.
I'm sorry.
No, I haven't actually opened the book, but you've linked to the picture before.
I don't know if I have or not, but yeah, that's my response to the people who want to complain about the cargo module is, well, actually.
And remember, you got to be pushing up your glasses and you say,
well, actually. And I pushed
look here.
I pushed up my glasses with my middle finger because that's how I am.
You can't do that because my 5-year-old son is doing that now.
Dorkly actually has a
6-year-old now.
Well, technically it's College Humor. They have a game show called actually.
He did that to me the other day. I was telling him something. He's like, actually, I was like, what? You're 6. What do you know?
You think you can mansplain me, boy?
He knows how to play Minecraft. Daddy, you got to play with me. It's like, dude, I don't know how to play Minecraft.
How to play Legos?
Your life is literally turning into South Park.
You know, if you know how to play with Legos, you know how to play Minecraft.
I watch them, the 3 of them. They sit there, and my daughter's got this skyscraper built with all these rooms, and they all have details, and toilets, and sinks, and beds. And then my son walks over and lays some dynamite at the base of it and blows it up.
I like his style.
Good man.
Does it? I was like, you know what you need to do?
At least
he
wasn't Tade.
Oh,
you need to go over to that. I told him, I was like, you need to go over that mountain and put all the TNT you have around that mountain, and then throw a flare at it. Why? I was like, just see what happens.
Yeah, it's much
Casually
cheaper.
having, well, not casually, but I'm having PTSD memories of when Tade set off that giant sphere of TNT.
And crash the server.
Well, that's, I don't want him crashing the Xbox, so.
Oh no.
It wouldn't crash the Xbox. It would just crash the game they're in.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's put it to you this way. So yeah, having your son do that in a game, certainly the safer way to do it than playing with him in real life. But so I don't even know what it was we were doing. We were just hanging out.
We were goofing around with server commands.
Yeah, messing around with server commands, and all of a sudden, Tade created a sphere, and it was gargantuan, completely surrounded us. We're like, oh dear God, don't light it off! And we didn't light it off, but we didn't have to because there's lava in the freaking ground. Oh, the whole thing.
This game crashed. The server went down. When it came back up after processing the math, an entire mountain range was gone.
Yes. So I parked a TIE fighter in it and said it was the TIE fighter's fault.
That's the online gaming for kids.
Yeah, that mountain was just obliterated.
Trying to explain to them why they not allow them to go online. Why not? Why can't I talk to people and have friends online like that?
Dicks.
It's about it. I was like, because I don't know who you're talking to. It's like Roblox. Why can't I have friends on Roblox? Because you don't know who that person is. I have to go in every day and delete all these friends requests that they keep getting on Roblox. I was like, you're not talking to anybody on there.
Not until you're at least 15.
And even then, I still got to monitor it. Bunch of sick bastards out there.
Well, I'm sure there are some legit.
Oh, I'm sure there are. But I
kids, whatever. But still.
Yeah. I mean, again, it was just like, but I don't need my 6-year-old and 5-year-old twins talking to somebody. I have the chat shut off and all that stuff for them, but I was like, I don't need that. I don't need to come in and grab their tablet and all of a sudden see stuff that, even though they're just now starting to learn to read, but nope. Not on my watch. Honestly, I think that is the only time murder should be legal. A parent should be allowed to hunt down and destroy someone who attacks their child. But that's just me.
Well, you're not hearing us say no.
No. Like that dude, I really hope that the father of that doctor that just got convicted, that Olympic doctor, when he jumped the dude in the courtroom, I really hope they don't do anything to that guy. Because he was well within his right to beat the snot out of that arrogant little prick. But, on to more geeky stuff. Where are we at? We done?
I don't know.
About 5'9".
I'm sure I'm about 15 pounds lighter thanks to this stomach, whatever I got going on. I'm not convinced that everybody's just like, oh, you got some sort of virus. I'm not convinced because I have had nothing else. I haven't had a fever. I haven't had nothing. I just think I got a hold of something I wasn't supposed to eat, and it said, guess what?
I honestly agree with what Wolfie thought, honestly, because...
I don't see how cutting sugars out would do that,
But see, my grandmother has consistently been on a diet for the past several months as well, cutting out sugars and carbohydrates and everything.
Sometimes
she's been
your body
consistently unhealthy as well.
Your body takes a while to adapt to drastic diet changes like that, and also sometimes it can trigger weird, like, flushing phases almost.
Possibly. It is a possibility that way. I mean, the only thing that I would say no to that is I live with 3 walking petri dishes.
Yeah, I would think you got something from the kids.
And it is getting 2 boys to wash their hands on a regular basis is near impossible. So all I had to do was grab something that my son had his hands on after he walked out of the bathroom, and that's all it would have taken. So that's either here or there. But the viruses that are running around rampant this season are pretty nasty too. Flus and Lord knows what else.
They misjudged which flus would be the most prevalent this year.
Big time. People are dying this year because of it in numbers that they haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, supposedly this is the lowest year for the effectiveness of the flu vaccine, I think, on record.
Yeah, like I said, to be fair, they didn't, they just kind of guessed wrong, and this happens. There's 16 varieties of the damn thing.
Yep.
So, I can see why they don't just, vaccinate you for all of them in one shot.
Crazy virus. Viruses are amazing little creatures.
Well, I know.
Virus.
I know.
It's not really geeky, but it is nerdy. They think they found something that might actually work against all 16 in one shot.
Bleach?
No. I like where you're going with this, but I don't think
I'm just going to drink a cup of Clorox and see what happens.
You'll shed your intestinal lining. That's what happens.
Yeah, you'll literally crap yourself out.
To death. Anyway, they think they have it, but they're taking it very slowly because, all it takes is it decide, to just mutate, and now you're SOL. So
I'm serious.
Over-vaccinate that one.
If you see like any of these holistic cleanses that talk about miracle mineral or whatever, it's bleach, and it will make you shit out your intestinal lining.
Yep.
Don't do it.
Do you really want to clean your colon out? Just go grab the garden hose. Go stand out in the backyard.
Now that there's a much better way to do it, man. They actually sell. It's called X-Lax.
It still doesn't clean you out completely.
Oh, really?
I am reminded of my dad went to this small liberal arts college in upstate New York called Hartwick that used to be a D1 soccer power, and he said that their big soccer cheer was give me an E, give me an X, give me an L, give me an A, give me an X. What are we going to do? Go, 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 go.
So your dad lived in Oneonta, New York?
Yeah, he went to Hartwick, so did one of his brothers.
I used to drive by Hartwick every day to go to work.
And the stuff that I was referring to is more what they give you to get ready for like a colonoscopy.
Yeah.
Oh, go lightly?
Yes. Yeah, you are done.
Yeah. my poor 6-year-old sometimes has to get go lightly because she has some weird, they call it like a lazy bowel or something, and she'll just get randomly backed up.
Oh.
That's she walks and she whistles. At that point where it's nothing there, it's just there's nothing left.
Yeah,
I can't. No, sorry. I remember that stuff when I went into surgery. That was nasty.
I mean, I understand the necessity of it all, but woof, yeah,
yes,
you done. Anyway, moving along.
That was one shitty topic. Let's move on.
Yeah, that's pretty crappy.
We should
never come
probably
back to that.
Just end the show because I'm out of things. I don't even have a last call.
Well, we have to make sure to flush that last topic first.
Oh.
There's the puns, folks.
Just wipe it away.
Hold on.
And there went the Wolfie. Let's see. Well, we do have a comment here from Firefly. Speaking of viruses, Rainbow Six Siege is having a PvE event coming up involving one of a non-terrestrial sort. Kind of an amusing echo given that the big bad in the original Rainbow Six novel was trying to loose a plague. And I'm not sure where he went back in the day, but I'm assuming it was to the city that was involved with the X-Lax thing. Anyway, Rainbow Six PvE event. I don't know. Does anybody play that?
The good one has it, but I think good one bought Rainbow Six just so he could get an outfit in the division, and then they gave away, that outfit in the division.
Oh, I'm sure Goodwin was a little peeved.
Did we talk about Mario Kart coming to mobile phones?
No.
I'm not really sure how that's going to work.
Me neither.
There's probably going to be so many in-game purchases.
Lockboxes. Oh, did we talk about this last time, about the successful selling of the SNES Classic.
Yes.
The SNES.
The SNES. The SNES Classic.
We
Yeah, the
talked
fact
about
that it sold so well that they're going to bring the NES back too.
Yeah, did we actually cover that last time?
Yeah,
I think we did.
And we talked about the Switch's big numbers.
Yeah.
Did we talk about the fact that Battlefront 2 didn't even sell half as well as Battlefront 1?
Yes.
I think we did, yeah. I remember that one. I
And
don't
yet
remember the
EA
other one.
still came out on top. Or
Well,
at least in the black.
It's like Jim Sterling says, because I really like Jim Sterling's take on a lot of this stuff. Is it's the difference between making money and making all of the money.
Yeah, that's true.
It isn't that making these games without microtransactions isn't profitable. It's just it's not as profitable.
They still made a
Okay.
profit, but not as much as they could have.
Speaking of setting things and making monies and stuff, I saw the article. I didn't actually click on it. Rockstar just passed another milestone with
December was their most successful month ever for Grand Theft Auto 5.
Wow.
That's weird.
Considering how long it's been out. Well, they released the Doomsday Heist, which, to be fair, they're pretty sure their second best month was when they released the Heists, which is also when it came out on PC. And people have been wanting more heists since. So since they released the Doomsday Heist, it was kind of obvious that they're going to get, some return.
How long's the game been out?
In general, or since it came out on all consoles plus PC? Let's see. First came out in September 17th of 2013.
Good lord, has it really been that long?
Mm-hmm.
It's a 5-year-old game, and they just had their highest numbers.
Yeah, and
That's impressive.
And their numbers, in general, have not been low. They've sold 90 million copies of Grand Theft Auto 5.
A lot of people just like running into things and shooting people randomly.
Yeah, it's a good stress reliever. I mean, that's the whole point of like Doom and Wolfenstein.
That's why I play Battlefront.
Yeah, well, it's not as much fun when you have somebody who can headshot you from inside a mountain.
That's true. But no, I just go and I do a walker thing, and I've gotten so good on the Xbox One that I have to do it on the really hard level because they have really dumbed that game down for the consoles. It is nowhere near as difficult on the consoles as it is on the PC.
Probably too many people, having to call for the ambulance.
I'll tell you, I mean, it's just with the addition of the aimbot, basically. It's like, yeah, okay, I can shoot with anywhere within kind of around the guy and I'm hitting him, whereas on the PC you have to like literally crosshair the guy to take him out.
Yeah, but you can't. That's the thing. I mean, you actually have the means to.
Yes, you do.
Do it, whereas you don't really have in the console.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, you guys, I don't know who else has played the game, but I mean, if you're doing the Walker Assault, just kind of the little thing where you get in there and you blow stuff up. On the PC, it's actually fairly difficult to do it within the first two. Like it's got stages where how far the walker gets, and within I think 3 or 4 games, I was taking the walkers out before it got to the second marker. Whereas on the PC, there was no way.
So to put this a little bit in perspective, all right. Now, obviously, these are some slightly older numbers. GTA 5 has sold 90 million copies. The entire Assassin's Creed franchise has sold 100 million. The entire Madden NFL franchise has sold about 100 million.
Jesus, so that's got to be some kind of record then for GTA 5.
GTA's entire franchise has sold about 250 million copies. So more than a third of that is just one game. They are the second highest rated video game franchise in terms of sales numbers, because the second highest is Pokemon and the third highest is Mario. Mario is king at just shy of 530 million.
Mario. It's me, Mario.
It's me. I used to be a plumber.
It's me, the most racist character in video games that no one ever complains about.
It's a me. I was an abusive gorilla-owning carpenter.
Gorilla owning?
Well, yeah, he owned Donkey Kong.
Did he own Donkey Kong?
Yes, and he abused Donkey Kong, which is why Donkey Kong busted out and kidnapped his girlfriend. He was also a carpenter at the time.
And then...
Hence the hammer.
And then, well... I forgot where I was going there. I had a brain fart. Yeah, his girlfriend went on to become mayor of that city.
Oh, that's right. Pauline is back in the new one, isn't she?
Yeah, she's mayor of New Donk City.
It only took, what, 20 years for her to show back up?
She's got quite the singing voice.
Because the princess was all up in Mario's stuff then.
Now, funny thing, though, about that, somebody took the song from the end of that game and applied it to Doom. The new Doom.
What?
It's absolutely hysterical.
I'm sorry. The reason I was distracted, by the way, is because I went to look at Jim Sterling's Twitter because he was doing some stuff for the day, and I thought I might be able to reference it. And apparently, he decided that since he has never seen Boondock Saints before, he is going to watch Boondock Saints.
No, he's in for a treat.
He's like, I must confess I've not watched Boondock Saints. I'm currently rectifying this. The responses to this statement have been, it's terrible and it's great. I love you, Twitter. Oh, they dropped a toilet on his head. Okay, then. I'm now as far as William Dafoe doing a little river dance at a crime scene, and this is a film. So is this a kid's cartoon that accidentally got turned into a violent action movie? In case anyone's interested, I got to the bit where the car got exploded all over the kitchen. The cat got exploded all over the kitchen. I thought I'd let you know.
Oh man, I lost it at that scene.
Honestly, I can't tell if I'm enjoying this anymore. It's a cavalcade of okay, I'm quoting now. It's a cavalcade of extravagant fucking nonsense.
He's not wrong.
Oh, we just got to the bit where William Dafoe yells, there was a fucking firefight. And there's Dafoe dressed up as a lady and doing a deep kiss with a mobster, because of course. Fucking hell, that last tweet was my final thought.
And a comment from Firefly. Remember The Surge. Sequel is in development. I don't remember The Surge, unless we're talking about the drink. And that's already out, so I'm assuming I'm not thinking of the right thing.
Okay, I'm not getting where it connects.
What?
Big shot of the Millennium Falcon from the Star Wars show. I can see where my mouse is right there, where you can see where it connects. Here. But I don't see where this connects. Where that center thing is, you know, the center thing that runs off. Oh, never mind. There it is. Okay, never mind. The cargo pod attaches. Look how clean that ship looks.
I know. That's why I'm telling you, Lando had work done.
Had a nose job.
Smell that sweet success.
And yeah, it took me a moment to remember, but I remember this Surge as well. I never got to play it, but yeah, it was basically sci-fi Dark Souls.
Well, are you going to wrap it up?
I think we're going to wrap
usually.
it up.
Tank publishing dirty memes on the Geek EZ page.
No, that was just funny.
Hey,
It
look,
really
it's my
wasn't all
Facebook
that
page.
dirty.
Great, now I gotta go look. Oh, we didn't talk about the Falcon rocket that went off.
No, it was mostly successful. I mean, we got Tesla car with Spaceman or Starman, heading out into space. 2 of the booster rockets landed fine. The center one, didn't make it.
I watched the live feeds of it, and I was keeping up with the comments. It is disturbing how many flat earthers are out there.
Yeah.
It's all fake. This isn't real. It's all the camera. I was like, what about the shot of the Earth after the third burn, looking back through space at the Earth, which is very small in the image, and it's round and has a globe's shadow?
Have you seen these idiots pouring water over oranges or dipping balls in water and then spinning them?
Yes. Science
Actually,
eludes them.
the dipping a ball in water and then spinning it is not related to flat earthing. That was a slow-mo guy's video, and Gavin Free is pissed.
Either way, it's still and it's like how do you go on breathing? How do you sit there? I mean, it's the fact that more and more people are buying into this.
Because they're easily duped.
I mean, why? It's like, I don't see no horizon. It's like, really? I have been in airplanes.
And they refuse to do the things that would show them that they are right. I mean, they're wrong. Or if they were right, it would show them they were right. They refuse to do those things. They refuse to go on planes. They refuse to go higher on mountains. Or they do, and then they edit their shots and get caught on it.
Yeah. The best I've seen right now was from the Flat Earthers Facebook page, where they actually had it posted that there are thousands of Flat Earthers all around the globe.
Oh, really?
Yep.
They didn't catch.
No, and then someone responded back, saying, "Say that back slowly." And they were going to use GPS to prove that the Earth was flat. I was like, you are aware that GPS stands for Global Positioning System, right? That's the only reason GPS works is because it's on a globe.
Yeah, I just don't know how. But anyway, the more important thing is, as Firefly pointed out, the 2 side boosters almost landed in perfect sync.
Yes. Like within milliseconds of each other.
I was disappointed. I was hoping it was going to blow up.
A lot of people were actually going, blow up.
I think Elon even wanted it to blow up because it was just a test flight.
Well, it was a test flight with its car on it.
Yeah, but it was millions of dollars worth of hardware. Blowing it up? Yeah. I realize Elon Musk has a lot of money, but
no, you got to remember the whole, because that's when he came out and said, "Look, this is an experimental test flight. Don't be surprised if it explodes." Is basically what he said. And I'm sorry, I watched him say it, and I saw the glint in his eye. He wanted it to go up as much as most of us did.
Either way,
look, come on, who doesn't want to see those things explode?
He set a world record by having a Tesla go from 0 to 700 in 4 seconds.
And he also said was getting the history books for having the first mass-produced car in space.
Yes. Heading towards Mars.
It's gonna miss.
By a lot.
And they were supposed to live stream for 12 hours, and it only made it for 4, so I guess they should have expanded the battery life.
I don't know why they just didn't connect it to the battery on the car. Now, the real question I have is, were the tires deflated when it went up, so they would reinflate in the gravity in the vacuum of space?
That's a good question.
Because they would have exploded otherwise.
Unless, that really didn't even have tires.
No, it has tires on it. I'm just curious, because they would have had to bring it down to somewhere, I would think. What did I see the numbers on that? Was it negative 15 pounds? They'd have to actually create a vacuum inside the tire, so that when they got to the vacuum out of outer space, it would actually go to the 30 psi inside. But, I mean, they got other things to worry about aside from the air pressure on the tires on the Tesla. But One would.
Yeah, it'll be
Well,
interesting
no.
if
You would have to think they'd have to actually factor that in somewhere because you don't want explosive decompression on the inside of a rocket in the middle of flight.
Okay. I do decree from this point forward, last call.
Last call.
Mostly because I want to go get some Pop-Tarts, and you guys are keeping me from going to get Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts.
I got nothing.
I got nothing.
Yeah.
All right, then. I guess we're done.
What about that?
Tune in next week when... Actually, yeah, we will be here next week, but yeah, we'll be here, yeah. My vacation to Florida doesn't interfere with the show at all, so...
Lies.
It doesn't. It's going to be over the weekend. Long weekend, we're going to Florida. Going to Legoland!
You son of a...
Staying in Legoland at one of their cool little cabana thingies there. They had a really good deal going on for Christmas.
Copacabana.
But yeah, that's it. So, we'll be back next week with, I have no idea what. Oh, we didn't even talk Discovery, but we'll talk Discovery next week, I'm sure. Because it's the season finale. And, I got nothing. Say goodnight, boys.
Good night, boys.
Good night, boys.
Good night.
Later.
Yeah, I gotta wonder if the ground is sort of like what the crypto is doing right now.